Today, we will be showcasing 10 things you didn't know. Did you know that McDonald's once made a bubblegum-flavored broccoli, and that a specific branch of fungi can create living zombies? Anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's start off with our number 10 pick, the Samsung butt test. This may seem like a joke, but we can assure you this is real. Samsung actually has a butt-shaped robot that is used to effectively test out whether their phones can withstand a typical human being sitting on top of their phone. Although it may sound funny to most, it is actually extremely useful, as for the most part, if they wouldn't have tested the phone's durability that way, most of us would have ended up with broken screens by now because of how often we ended up sitting on our phones by accident. Number 9. Bubblegum-flavored broccoli. As mentioned before, McDonald's attempted to make healthy food such as broccoli taste good for a while, appealing to children all around the world while doing so. The only problem with this is that in changing the taste of it, making it literally taste like candy, more and more children stopped eating their own broccoli, which brought about a ton of complaints by the masses. Also, the taste was a bit too artificial, which meant that not even the key demographic, which in this case was the children, didn't like the product themselves. Number 8. Fear of being happy. That's right, there is such a thing of being afraid of being happy. Many scientists attribute this fear to the fact that many people always expect something bad to happen after something good and vice versa. But the people that suffer from this internal fear take it a step further. The term used to describe it is churrophobia. It comes from the Greek word churro, which directly translates to rejoice. The anxiety that comes with happiness in this case is enough to make the people suffering of it never want to go outside or interact with anyone altogether. Number 7. The frisbee inventor is now a frisbee. After he passed away, Steady Ed Hedrick decided to commemorate his life by simply getting himself cremated and then stored inside of a frisbee. The frisbee is now kept at the home, and despite how morbid it may sound, apparently his child is still playing with the frisbee to this day to remember his father and the times they had together in the past. Although it may seem quite ridiculous, this was his legacy, his magnum opus. So it makes sense that he'd want to be remembered by literally turning into his own work. Number 6. A radiation physicist and radioactive notes. Marie Curie, one of the most influential modern physicists of all time, was the one who single-handedly discovered the existence of elements such as polonium and radium. The problem with that is that there was no way for her to know that she needed protection to survive around the radiation, which resulted in her and her husband losing their lives shortly after. What's interesting about this story is that the notes she wrote while studying the newly found elements ended up being just as radiated as she was. So nobody can actually physically touch them for at least 1,500 more years from now. Number 5. Hitting your head burns calories. Believe it or not, hitting your head over the wall for 1 hour straight can end up helping you burn 150 calories or so, depending on your speed and velocity. While this may be true, we don't recommend anyone to do this, because regardless of how hard your head is, you will eventually end up feeling like a high school quarterbacker that just received the ball at the last minute of the match. So again, don't try this at home. Push-ups will do just as much for you. Trust us. Number 4. Your ear holds the smallest bone in your body. This is a pretty known fact, but even though it's one of the smallest bones in the body, it's also one of the most useful ones. Because without it, we wouldn't be able to hear sounds anymore. This bone is known as the stapes, and is one of the key bones that help us make sense of vibrations and turn them into sounds. The term itself comes from the Latin word stapes, and it is not unique to humans, as most other animals have it themselves. Number 3. Less than 5% of the ocean has been explored. It is quite sad when you realize that we have explored less than 5% of our own planet's ocean. And yet we're already planning on leaving our planet for another one in the near future. This is because actually exploring the deepest parts of the ocean is said to be as costly as going to the moon and back. Although we have officially mapped out about 20% of the ocean floor as of now, no human being has ever been able to come close to seeing the dark depths of the ocean. Which would you prefer, exploring foreign planets or the deepest parts of the oceans? Number 2. Fungi creates real-life zombies. This is not the leaked plot to The Last of Us Part 3, we swear. This is real life right here, and the name of the culprit is none other than Ophiocoriceps. While it can't specifically hurt humans, or turn them into the walking dead as far as we know, the fungus is strong enough to take over most any ants and manipulate their movements altogether. The fungi force the ants to climb on trees, then jump down to the moist soil where they would disintegrate and be used as a substance by the fungi. Truly terrifying to say the least. Number 1. Octopus lay 56,000 eggs at once. Last but not least, we have the fun fact that an octopus can actually spend up to 53 months growing all 56,000 eggs inside of it, only to spend the next 6 months defending them from any potential predators. The eggs are as small as a grain of rice, as they are laid by the octopus, and after they hatch, the mother ends up leaving all the babies behind that cannot keep up with her. As scary as that may sound, when you realize that a whopping 56,000 eggs were hatched, losing 1,000 is not the biggest problem in the world to the octopus. The world is full of mysteries and wonder. And that's a fact. Which of today's picks shocked you the most? What other fun facts do you know? Share them with us in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Also, click on the recommended videos on the left and right of the screen if you want to see more from us in the future. See ya!